Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Deliberate Millionaire. How are you doing? I am Rosemary Nonny Knight. I am the Prosperity Minister. I work with ambitious spiritual people, enabling them to thrive, to prosper, to make at least six figures whilst living in line with their purpose. Okay. I help you to leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past, and to rise victorious in your true design life. I believe we all get to live free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched lives if we are willing to claim it. We all, especially as ambitious spiritual people, there's a sense inside of you that there's a purpose that you're here to create, that there's a difference you're here on this planet to make. And for a lot of us here, we want to coach, we want to heal, we want to teach, we want to really empower people to know who they are. There's just this deep desire inside of you to make a difference to people's lives. However, there's also a lot of pain and limiting beliefs that can get in the way of you being consistent. Because actually, if you were consistent in showing up for the life that you want, if you were consistent in building the side hustle, the business that you want, if you were consistent in getting those extra income streams that would support you in living in line with your purpose, you would be there. But this isn't a judgment thing. This is a simple bringing this to your attention. Bringing this to your attention. I think I was listening to Trent Shelton recently, and he mentioned consistency. And it just kind of prompted something inside of me. And as I work with clients and this community, what I see is people start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And then the stopping gets longer and longer, particularly as people get older. They stop longer and longer, as in they stop doing the things that would actually get them the life that they want, and they carry on doing more of the things that maintains the life they do not want. They're very consistent with the life they do not want, whilst complaining bitterly about not having the life that they do want. But then I look at their actions and I say, honey, if you had given as much time, energy, and money and attention to the life you actually want, you would probably be in a different place by now. Now, I'm not going to pretend that there's anything instant about success on your purpose path. Just because you suddenly wake up one morning and decide that you're now ready to live in your purpose doesn't necessarily mean that everything is suddenly going to work amazingly for you immediately, which is also why it is critical that you stay consistent. Somebody sent an email or something out today, and I saw this email of this person who is now making millions, but started the first year of business. I think they only made literally two figures, like $38 or something in the first year. Now, how many people would stay consistent when they've only made like $38 for a whole freaking year? Not many. And that is why not many people live in their purpose. I really truly believe that you carry that message, that desire, that mandate, that mission inside of you because it is yours to bring to life. If you will focus on it, if you will partner with the divine and stop allowing the physical reality to determine what you do or do not do, and instead you look to the vision within you, you look to your connection with the divine, and you take action from that place of being the leader, being the one who actually wins. Our affirmation this week is I come out on top. I am a champion. If you would act as a champion consistently, you would change everything in your life. I can't tell you how long it's going to take. And that sometimes is the issue, isn't it? When it doesn't happen instantly, then people get a little bit nervous that I'm going to put all this effort in and nothing is ever going to change for me. But the problem is, if you don't put the effort in, then you know for sure what is actually going to happen. Let's start by singing our affirmation. The reason why I do these musical things is because music opens you up, okay? I don't just do it just for the sake of it. I do it because music opens you up. So just be here with me. Take a deep breath. Release tension because I want you to be very present as we talk about this thing here. I come out on top, I'm a champion. I come out on top, I'm a champion. I come out on top, I'm a champion. come out on top, I'm a champion. I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise, I come out on top, I'm a champion. I rise, I rise, I rise, I rise, I come out on top, I'm a champion. And that is our affirmation for this week. You come out on top. You are a champion. You are a champion. You rise, you rise, you rise. This week on in the community on the email list, I am promoting evolution. Evolution, the invitation to deepen your connection to the divine and to rise above, evolve past the noise, the nonsense, the drama of the physical reality of the underground. I spoke about the underground. Look through the previous videos. I spoke about the underground and the throne room. We want to evolve past the underground. And we do this with consistent daily musts that we commit to doing, regardless of how we feel, regardless of what is happening in the physical reality, regardless of this, because we know that we're called and born to make a difference, to change lives, to change our own life first and foremost. I mean, it would have been better that we never left our own path, but most of us did, okay? Most of us got pulled this way and that by our parents, by everybody telling us who we should be and what we should do and what is practical and what is not practical. And so now you come to live in your purpose. It is fighting against all this noise in your head all around you telling you, no, you cannot do this, no, it's not going to work, blah 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 blah. And then you face this instant success desire. You want everything to work immediately, and it doesn't. It's because for most people it doesn't work immediately. It doesn't work immediately. Okay, most people I know with me, yes, I within the first 18 months of doing my property business, I was making multi six figures. But honey, that 18 months felt like hell. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. But then going on to building my coaching business, it took a little longer to really, because there's something about living in your actual purpose. There's something, I don't know, it's so personal. And you start to wonder if you're enough. You start questioning whether you can do it. It's so much easier in some ways to build like a property business because the property had nothing in some ways to do with me. It was just follow the strategy, do that, the end. Except it didn't satisfy me. Or even becoming a pharmacist, it was just about, okay, do this, do this, do this, pass the exams, you become a pharmacist. But when you come to living your purpose, it isn't, there's no do this, do this, do this. Okay, yes, I can teach you certain strategies on how to promote yourself and market yourself. But actually, the message needs to actually come from inside of you. And so people find it difficult to be consistent because it's confronting. It's scary to continually put yourself out there, particularly when you don't really have an active audience. It's scary to keep putting yourself out there because there's a part of you thinking, who actually wants to hear what I have to say? Why, lots of other people saying the same kind of thing. Why is it important that I say it? Do I have to tell you this? Do I have to tell you that it is important that you specifically say that there's no mistake about you being on here on this planet at this time? I don't think I need to tell you that, but at the same time, those are the thoughts, those are the ideas that are going through you. And then it makes you get excited and start something. And then, who cares? Nobody wants to hear and then you stop. And then you're excited and then you stop. And then it doesn't work immediately. Not only are you telling yourself, well, if it was of the divine, if it was the thing I'm supposed to be doing, surely it would be easier than this. And it should immediately have worked. The doors should immediately have opened. The platform should immediately be there. And so you're telling yourself that. You may even have people around you who are telling you, obviously there's something wrong here, something you're doing is not working, so maybe you should just quit now whilst you're kind of still ahead. You've only been doing it for 2 weeks, but and let's forget about the fact that it's like when I became a pharmacist, I used to say it took me 25 freaking years to become a pharmacist because all the education and everything you had to do to become a pharmacist. If I'd stopped before the 25th year of my life, I would never have become a pharmacist. But then when I come to build a business, I wanted it to work in 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum, and that's what people are like. And then the people around you also, because it's outside of their realm of experience. And so then they're making you feel like you need to rush things, you need to do things, and then you're rushing things. But the choices you make from a place of desperation will never get you anywhere useful. Never, 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 never. And so then again, because it's not moving as fast as you would like, you start buying into the stories that, oh, it's never going to work for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe it's blah, 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 blah. If this is resonating with you, you need to tell me in the comments, okay? Tell me how this is speaking to you, okay? Whether you listen to replay, whether you're listening to me live, I want to hear from you. Is this resonating with you? Do you struggle with consistency? Do you find yourself start, stopping, start, stopping, start, stopping? What do you do? Do you do anything to overcome it? Because I am trying to encourage you here to overcome this. I want you to overcome this, because the only way you're going to live to the fullness of your potential is with consistency. Instant success, just put that down. It's probably not going to happen instantly, and that's okay. That's okay. You can be sure that your success is inevitable if you will stay consistent and keep showing up for your vision. Okay? Forget about perfectionism. Forget about trying to get everything perfect. Forget about and this idea as well that because you're, particularly if you're coaching, healing, spiritual teaching, this idea that you're supposed to be this perfect leader. You're supposed to get everything right, because if you're not getting everything right, how dare you be teaching anybody else this stuff? Honey, let's just be honest. Most of y'all learned things in your school, in your college education, from people who have never done the thing that they're telling you how to do. And you never questioned it for a second, because that's the normal route. That's the normal path. And yet somehow you set these high standards for yourself, which then cause you to start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You stay consistent building a life you do not want, but you can't seem to stay consistent building a life you do. We need to get more connected to our whys. I know when I started in business, my big why was my daughters. I wanted to be around them growing up. I wanted to create some kind of an income on the side whilst watching them grow up. And I'm glad to say that I did do that. It wasn't always perfect. It was, in fact, sometimes it was very hairy, very hairy at times. But I'm glad that I still took the time to step away from the regular path and then consistently show up. Like I say to my clients, communicate, capture, close every single day. Communicate, put content out there, communicate what you're about. Go find where your people are and start communicating with them. Capture them into your world. So build a mailing list, build an audience, capture them every day. Make sure you're capturing people into your world. Do not go to bed unless somebody's joined your world in some way, okay, with a free gift or on your social media. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that every day, even if it's one person you're growing your audience by, grow it with one person. But this needs to be consistent. And then every day be offering something for sale. Every day be offering something for sale, okay? This is how you build a side hustle or a business that is aligned with your purpose. And this is stuff that will confront you. Oh, do I have enough to say? Does anybody want to hear from me? All of that stuff, enough. Given it more importance than the mission, the difference you could make. And then coming back to this why, you need to figure out your why. Why are you doing this? As I said, for me, it was my daughters to begin with. And after that, when it was no longer necessary just to have my daughters as the thing, because I was already doing the thing, it was, I want to help others do what they're meant to do. I hated, and I still hate, seeing people stuck in a life that feels horrible. But it's the adult life, right? You just have to put up with it. It's a lie. I call it Project 334K, 334,000 ambitious spiritual people living to the fullness of their potential, living in line with their purpose, making at least six figures whilst living in line with their purpose, with freedom, with fulfillment, with, financial abundance, a love-drenched life. I believe that is everyone's right. And so that's why became, it was always quite important to me, but then it became even more so as I continue to do this work and continue to work with clients and seeing the difference I can make when I show up fully for my purpose. Again, not always easy. Not always easy to stay consistent, but I decided that there were certain things that I was going to do on a daily basis, come what may. And so to this day, I do them. Communicate, capture, close. What I define it myself the way I needed to, and you will need to define for you What daily musts will you now commit to that you will do on a daily basis? And if you don't know, listen, come, let's reach out to me. We can have a conversation about figuring out for you what would be appropriate to set as daily musts for you that you then commit to doing on a daily basis to bring your vision to life. One of the other reasons why people don't stay consistent would be that they're making other people's agendas for them more important than their own. Enough. We need to put boundaries in place sometimes. We need to protect our vision, honor our vision by making sure that we do not allow other people's agendas for us to take over our own agenda for ourselves. Okay? So again, having those daily musts that you commit to doing every single day, come what may, will make a huge difference to you. People, because it's like people say that they don't know how to be consistent, but when you think about it, yes, we all do. You've been consistent with something. That's possibly why you have the career that you have, or else, honey, you'd be out of a job or out of that career for sure. You have a relationship maybe, again, because there were certain things that you were consistent with to create it. So you can be consistent. A problem is the underlying fears under what you're doing around your purpose work. That's the issue. And so overcoming those, removing those blocks will help you with your quest for consistency. But then at the same time, you still have to make a choice to be consistent regardless of how you feel on any given day. It's like I always say, you act on your goals, you feel your feelings. Most people are acting on their feelings and wishing for their goals. We cannot wish. We have to become those that are committed. This is why I say about living life deliberately. This is why we call the deliberate millionaires, because we live life deliberately. We don't just leave it to chance. We don't leave it to what we're feeling like on any given day. It doesn't matter what you feel like on any given day. If you actually sat down with the divine each day and said, okay, what do many people need to hear? What do I need to do? What's the next step for me in order to move myself forward? I promise you that the divine will come up with something for you. So there's no excuse for us anymore. There's always a way forward, and there's things that you can discipline yourself about so that you're consistently doing stuff. And it doesn't need to take very long. That's the crazy thing. Once you set things up, the things to maintain the machine don't actually take that long. The practical actions are not actually that complicated. It's the crazy thinking that goes behind it that is messing you up. And so any healing does need to happen, absolutely, but healing alone is not going to work. You have to heal, and you also have to commit to taking action, regardless of what you feel like. Will you? You can't wait to be motivated all of the time. You need to be consistently taking action. I'm not saying anything that you do not know, but I'm just trying to encourage you, to inspire you, to help you realize you're not alone in feeling that the way that you do, feeling that, am I going to put all this effort in and is it actually going to work? A feeling that it's taking so long. Surely if it was of the divine, then it would be working by now. Feeling like nobody's taking me seriously. Everybody's already doing what I'm doing. Does anybody need to hear? All of that stuff. I understand it's there. But witness it. Don't allow it to completely control you. Okay? Get the copy of the Remove the Blocks book, okay? Because in there is a strategy for clearing some of this noise and nonsense. Ultimately, if you look through the page, I'm sure it will come up on there. But for right now, around this video, actually on Instagram, the Remove the Blocks book is in there, and it contains the Six-Figure Spiritual Business book. So if you're going to get one book, then get the Remove the Blocks book, because it also gives you a strategy for clearing the noise, the nonsense, and the drama, as well as a strategy for growing a business or a side hustle using your skills and wisdom and expertise to support other people, to help other people. Okay, so do that, because as I say, the actual things you need to be consistent with are not difficult to do. It's the underlying thoughts that are canceling you out. And if you can get rid of those or learn to manage those, and you can, okay, if you learn to manage those, you will then become a heck of a lot more consistent, because you stop buying into the stories that you're telling yourself about why you can't do this yet and why you shouldn't do that. All of that noise and nonsense. Enough already. Don't compare yourself to anybody else as well. Okay, that sometimes is the reason why people are inconsistent, is because you think what you're doing is just not good enough compared to that person and the other person and the other side. The words and the way you would say it, the way you will make a difference to your people, nobody else can do it exactly the way that you do. Please, 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 please give yourself the opportunity to thrive and to prosper whilst living in your purpose. It is your divine right, but you have to claim it. And having these daily musts that you commit to will make a huge difference to whether you get to live in your purpose or not. I mean, seriously, count the cost of how much does it cost you? Because you could have been making six figures within 12 months if you stayed the course. So how many 12-month periods have passed with you starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping? How many 12-month periods have passed? How much has that cost you for each year? At least 100 grand. Really think about this. What if you just stayed consistent all of that time instead of giving in to the noise? What if you had worked with a coach or a mentor to be accountable instead of listening to the noise? Instead of telling yourself, oh, people are just out to scam me, or nobody can help me, nobody understands what I'm doing, blah, 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 all of that stuff you tell yourself that keeps you from consistency, and in turn keeps you from living in your purpose profitably. It's possible for you. It's possible for you. I can't tell you how long it's going to take, but I do know this. If you don't stay consistent, you'll probably not get there. I used to say, and I still say in some ways, you don't have the lifespan of a vampire like Edward Cullen. I love Edward Cullen. I love the Twilight series. Okay. You don't have that lifespan. So you don't have time to keep waiting and trying to get everything perfect, or start, stop all of the time. Oh no, this is happening in my life right now. So I can't continue to show up because, I have to handle this thing. Even Jesus said, you know what, let the dead bury the dead. You come and follow right now. You have to stay consistent. I don't care what's happening in your life. The number of times I've stayed consistent, regardless of me being in hospital, children being in hospital, whatever, I chose to keep showing up. And sometimes it was painful, yes. Sometimes it felt like, why am I even bothering? And yet, I knew that quitting ensured I would never reach my goal. So therefore, I'm never going to stop and do whatever I need to do to support myself in carrying on. So for me, supporting myself, music really helped in supporting my mental health, because sometimes building a business can be so crushing on your mindset. Music helped. Exercising helped. Okay, if you look to the side, I have my bike there. Exercise became a thing for me. I've never been an exercise kind of girl, but in order to take care of myself, exercise became part of what I did. Music became part of what I did. Connecting and staying connected to the divine definitely is necessary. But these are things as well I had to, because that became part of my daily must. So not even just the strategic things to grow a business, but also the non-strategic. Well, they're strategic, but they're internal stuff that maintained my mind. And the self-care side of things were absolutely necessary, because if not, I wouldn't have been able to keep going. Because yes, it is. It can really, building a purpose-aligned business, it can take everything out of you. I'm not going to lie, it can. And if you're not taking care of yourself consistently, then yeah, you will fall foul, or you'll burn out, all of that stuff. Burnout's not something to be scared of ever, because you can still recover. But if you don't take care of yourself internally, it will be really hell. It's like the Bible says something about hope deferred makes the heart sick. You will know what I mean if you've gone through trying to grow a business that just seems as if it was never going to grow. Basically, and you keep showing up and you keep showing up, but it feels like you're throwing yourself against a brick wall. So I can understand why you struggle with consistency when it feels that way. And yet, let me encourage you to keep showing up. You don't necessarily have to keep throwing yourself against the wall when you're leaning into the divine. It's just sometimes the fear takes you over and you start doing all kinds of crazy stuff, hoping that something will make the wall break down. But actually, it's the consistent showing up. The consistent showing up, the consistent communicating, capturing, and closing. That is what will make the difference. It's like water. A drop of water will break through a whole mountain if it just keeps dropping and it keeps dropping and it keeps dropping. And it may seem as if it's never going to make a difference, and then it does. So, honeys, stay the course, stay consistent. It isn't enough just to be saying that, oh, yes, I will, I am doing it. No, consistently doing what is necessary to keep putting yourself out there. Keep communicating, capturing, and closing every single day. Whatever area of your life that isn't working the way you want it to, have you been consistent with doing the things that are necessary to make it work in the way you want it to? Be honest with yourself. Are you being consistent, or are you starting and stopping based on how inspired you feel on any given day? Consistency is what will get you the result you want. It's the path to peace. It's the path to purpose. It's the path to profit. Okay. Consistency. Okay. I'm going to bring it to a close here. The start stopping has got to go. Stop with the start stopping. Come into the community. Get a copy of the book. Come into the community. I will help you be consistent. Come and surround yourself with other ambitious spiritual people. It's time for you to get consistent. Much amazing love. It's been a pleasure as always being here with you. Get a copy of the book. Go forth and prosper, my love. Bye.